golden sun rise up slow, coffee steam in the glow, cannabis in the haze, start our tropic days. Morning dew on the leaves, coconut breeze in the trees, roasting beans smooth and dark, lighting up a morning spark. Coffee cup to lips so high, cannabis under azure sky, warmth in every single ray, tropic love in morning play. Birds sing a tender tune in the light of early June. Cannabis leaves sway in mind, coffee aroma running wild, percussion rhythm so sweet, sand warm beneath our feet, cannabis whispers in the air, coffee heartbeat softly share. Coffee cup to lips so high, cannabis under azure sky, warmth in every single ray, tropic love in morning play. Percussion rhythm so sweet, sand warm beneath our feet, cannabis whispers in the air, coffee heartbeat softly share. Coffee cup to lips so high, cannabis under azure sky, warmth in every single ray, tropic love in morning play.
Sunrise through the palm trees, cup of coffee in my hand, warm breeze whispers gently in this simple morning land. Smooth coffee scent rising, dark roast in my cup, take a sip refreshing, just can't get enough. Coffee and cannabis in the Sunday air, feeling so righteous, not a single care. Cannabis in the garden, leaves so green and bright, smooth waves in the distance, life feels so right. Coffee grounds on the table, sugar and some cream, rolling up the green leaves in this peaceful dream. Coffee and cannabis in the Sunday air, feeling so righteous, not a single care. Cannabis in the garden, leaves so green and bright, smooth waves in the distance, life feels so right. Coffee grounds on the table, sugar and some cream, rolling up the green leaves in this peaceful dream.
glow so gentle, bright. Coffee cup, my heart's delight. Cannabis mist in the air. Friends we share this morning fare. Tropical breeze whispers low. We sip slow, feel the flow. Hands we hold, a peaceful beat. Life is sweet where hearts do meet. Sunday morning, pure and free. Church bell rings in harmony. Coffee warm and glowing sun. Cannabis dreams, we've just begun. Gospel tunes we softly hum. Joyful hearts and beating drums. Tropical skies wide and grand. Together we all understand. Peaceful shorebirds take to flight. Nature paints a pure delight. Friends and laughter fill the space. In this soft and sacred place. Cannabis calm and subtle grace. Coffee warmth in our embrace. Hands circle dreams in morning light. Sunday sunrise pure and bright. Gospel tunes we softly hum. Church bell rings in harmony. Coffee warm and glowing sun. Cannabis dreams, we've just begun.
Good Sunday morning, everybody. How's everybody's morning going this morning? Hopefully it's nice and soft and slow and chilling. And oh shit, good morning, Nikki. How are you doing, dear? I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful morning. Good morning, Chrissy. How are you, dear? I hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful morning. Good morning, Heather. How are you doing, dear? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Miss Bina. How are you, dear? I hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful morning. Good morning, Sammy. How are you doing, dear? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Ma. How are you doing? I hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful morning. Good morning, Mr. Man Bear. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, actually. Weather's a little cold, but I don't mind that. That's okay.
I think they, Sunday mornings are supposed to be a little chilly, a little slow.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice sunrise where you are, though. That's nice, man.
Yes. Well, that's not quite, but yeah. I mean,
yeah. It's a nice
I don't
sunrise.
know. I don't think we'd have a sunrise. It's pretty overcast here in Laverne this morning.
I'm hoping we get some rain. If it keeps raining, it's gonna end fire season soon. So
I was just gonna say, like, you guys don't need rain for like agricultural reasons. You guys need rain for fire suppression reasons.
Yeah.
Good morning, CJ. How are you doing, dear? Hope you're having a wonderful morning.
Yeah, and it's gonna be good because we've had rain. So yes, they did. Yes, they did. My wife's brother drove them back here. He's an angel. He literally came up here to pick them up, to drive them 12 hours to the service, and then drove them 12 hours back, and he's got to drive 12 hours back home tomorrow or the next day. The guy's an absolute saint. Yeah.
Good morning, Ashley. How are you doing, dear? Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful morning. All right. Smoke a bowl.
Yeah, we could probably do that. We do that.
All right. I did play a couple of chillin' Sunday morning songs, but I'm gonna replay the first one for those who might have missed it from the beginning. But
No, I like it.
I love them, dude. I was up super late last night, way later than I should have been. But damn it, they're so perfect.
Yeah.
Golden sun, rise up slow. Coffee steam in the glow.
Good, Jenny.
Cannabis in the haze. Start our tropic days. Morning dew on the leaves. Coconut breeze in the trees. Roasting beans, smooth and dark, lighting up a morning spark. Coffee cup to lips so high. Cannabis under azure sky. Warmth in every single ray. Tropic love in morning play. Birds sing a tender tune in the light of early June. Cannabis leaves sway in my coffee aroma running wild. Percussion rhythm so sweet. Sand warm beneath our feet. Cannabis whispers in the air. Coffee heartbeat softly share. Coffee cup to lips so high. Cannabis under azure sky.
Good morning, Scumpong.
Warmth in every single ray. Tropic love in morning play. Percussion rhythm so sweet. Sand warm beneath our feet. Cannabis whispers in the air. Coffee heartbeat softly share. Coffee cup to lips so high. Cannabis under azure sky. Warmth in every single ray. Tropic love in morning play.
Yes, I fucking love it. It's so, like, dang.
It's very Sunday. I love it.
That was actually, like, I was like, man, I want it to be, like, very Sunday morning. Because there's a certain feel Sunday mornings have, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is, but, yes, thank you guys so much for all of the support. I've been loving making the songs and the jingles, and they've been super cool. I was up way later than I should have been last night working on it, but it was worth it. And there's one I was trying to do, but I wasn't able to get done in time. But it's okay.
It's all. We have faith in you.
We'll start with morning update for August 25th, Sunday. We got chillin' Sunday morning. Then we got the Yerpananigans. And then we got duck racing this afternoon. Yeah. And then we've got the coffee giveaway closeout, I believe. I'm not sure what he's going to call it, but that's just kind of the rough name I'm going with. And then, as always, the Yerp away tonight.
Is it tonight? Yeah. Yes. Probably around 9:13 his time.
Yes. Friday night. Let's see if I can remember this right offhand. DD Dabs. Brendra, Yerp, Amber, and me won Nux, and Amber won the Silver Nux. Last night, DD Dabs won the Stoner Roulette Times 5 trophy.
Yeah.
We are still looking for dodgeball players if anybody's interested.
Yep.
And, yeah. What do you got going on today, Mr. Man Bear?
Probably just relaxing, actually. Yeah, I didn't actually, just like Sammy, I actually haven't gone to sleep yet. It's just a lot on
Dang.
my mind. And not a bad thing. It happens.
Wait. Yeah, I went to bed at probably like a little after 1.
Yeah.
And the alarm went off at 4, and I was like, I'll see you in a couple hours, dude.
Yeah. No, it's just you know what? I got teenagers, so they're always up till midnight or 1 a.m. anyway. So at like 1 a.m., I was like, I'm kind of hungry. Made a couple tuna fish sandwiches, started watching TV, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna stay up till after the morning show and then go to sleep, because lie down for 2 hours or lie down for 6 after the show, right?
All right, so I got a question, and is you enjoy tuna? I've come to learn that.
Yes.
Okay. Is that a Michael Hugo Man Bear thing, or is that a Canada thing?
I think it's I don't have to make any noise to make food thing.
Okay, fair enough. No, I'm just curious.
No.
I hear you.
When I was younger,
like, I'm gonna make tuna fish sandwiches. I'm like, well, is that like a Canadian thing? Like, I don't know.
It's kind of a bear thing, I guess. I mean, bears like fish, right?
True that. Oh my god, dude, we were doing. I think it was one night after you jumped down. We were playing stupid YouTube games, and it was like guess the correct logo. Fuck, I didn't even think it was one morning, and like all of a sudden there was a Tim Hortons, and all of a sudden I was like, man, where are you? We need you.
So when I was younger, I lived with a lot of people, so I had to make those quiet foods when you're, baked teenager coming home at 3 a.m. You're not turning the oven on.
You know what I really think is crazy about Canada is you guys have so much water. It's ridiculous. Like everybody knows
ridiculous.
That. So
ridiculous.
In the summertime, you can go anywhere in Canada you want on water without a fucking passport, without anything, as long as you are on water. But as soon as that shit freezes, that becomes a land, and you better get your fucking ass off of it before they deport you.
I know, it's so fucked up, right? I mean, like, how does that even work?
Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, Vicky. How are you doing this morning, dear? I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful morning. Let's see if I can grab something. Good morning, Amber. How's your Sunday morning going, dear? I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful, chilling Sunday morning. And cheers, everybody.
Sunrise through the palm trees, cup of coffee in my hand. Warm breeze whispers gently in this simple morning land. Smooth coffee scent rising, dark roast in my cup. Take a sip, refreshing, just can't get enough. Coffee and cannabis, the Sunday air, feeling so righteous, not a single care. Cannabis in the garden, leaves so green and bright. Smooth waves in the distance, life feels so right. Coffee grounds on the table, sugar and some cream. Rolling up the green leaves in this peaceful dream. Coffee and cannabis in the Sunday air, feeling so righteous, not a single care. Cannabis in the garden, leaves so green and bright. Smooth waves in the distance, life feels so right. Coffee grounds on the table, sugar and some cream.
That's
rolling up the green leaves in this peaceful dream.
So what has everybody got going on today? Busy Sundays or chilling Sundays or
Sometimes, you know what? My grandma had a job where she worked once every Saturday, like once a month. That was always a crazy weekend. But those Sundays, man, fuck, she do nothing but soap operas and like chill.
Yeah, I always loved, Sundays would always be like, football day or like NASCAR or I don't know, just.
So when I was younger, it was soccer Sunday, but they changed
Okay.
it to soccer Saturday. Remember, it went from Sunday to Saturday for, I think it was for football reasons, to be honest. Football to football. Um,
I,
but yeah,
I've always, it was always like fucking, Friday night we always do shit. And so like it didn't matter, but like Saturday's college football game day all day.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then Sunday was either football or racing or something.
yeah. There's so much NASCAR on compared to now back in the day. Like, fuck, it was always on, man. Holy shit.
Oh my goodness. I've been so like as obviously as you watch shit on YouTube, it just keeps feeding you more bullshit. And so like as I watch more like circa early 2000s NASCAR races, it keeps feeding me more and more fucking NASCAR. And so like yesterday, I think I was listening to like 2002 Pocono race.
Yeah.
Like dude, in my opinion, that was like prime NASCAR days. That's when all of like the guys who just retired were young guns like Tony Stewart, and Matt Kenseth, and Kevin
Yeah.
Harvick, and Kyle Busch, and Earnhardt was going through all his shit. And like I know I've talked about it before, but a very good documentary is In the Blink of an Eye, and it talks about the Dale Earnhardt death situation, all of that from Michael Waltrip's point of view, because I guess they were like very, very, very good friends.
Yeah. Waltrip was actually one of my favorite. I always liked him, man. Honestly.
He's so goofy. Him and Daryl are so goofy. But
Yeah.
no, it's really interesting because I guess the night before the Daytona 500, Dale met with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Michael Waltrip and said, I don't care what we got to do, but we got to get together and we got to help each other and work. And that's how they won that fucking race. And
Yeah.
they won that race because Dale Earnhardt was blocking like a son of a bitch in that third position, And then when they came back to Daytona in July and raced the Pepsi 400, that's how Dale Earnhardt won that, or Dale Earnhardt Jr. won that race, was because Michael Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt Jr. worked so well together. But once they got, and that's how they dominated the restrictor plate races in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just say it's so interesting to watch the actual documentaries on some of the NASCAR stuff, because it gives you, like you said, it gives you like Waltrip's point of view or someone else's point of view or their stories from the pits or whatever. It's just really cool shit, man.
Or the movie Dale, just the movie Dale, like it's more of a movie than a documentary, but it's a fucking really, really good one.
And you got to go with classics like Days of Thunder. Come on, it was still a good movie.
Oh my God, I love that fucking movie, man. That's a classic. The making of that movie is really interesting because like they were like borrowing shit like during NASCAR races. They were like, hey, can we just like run a few cars with you out there real quick? And Pocono was always one of my favorite racetracks. It was always like Pocono. I always liked Sears Point before they changed it into Infineon. I always liked the road courses, but Bristol's always one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Daytona, Talladega, Pocono.
Oh, there you go. See, now you're hitting soft spots. Daytona, Talladega, yeah.
Dover. I liked how the one corner is way, way shorter than the other one.
Yeah, it makes such a difference.
We got 2 minutes to 420. Yes, that's He's got a bowl loaded or something or another. I'm gonna bust off some moon rock here.
Oh, you still got some of that shit left? Damn, son.
Going on over 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's pretty decent. That's like that's as good as that gram of dabs I had from Cody Allen.
Well, it helps that I have like other flour and I've got vape pen and I got this and that. I mean, if I just had the moon rock, I'm sure it wouldn't have lasted. But I mean, yeah. So you saw how big that fucker was, and like I've given a couple chunks of it to I've given some to like Roach and other people and stuff like that. And so I love them.
They're good. I should buy some. You guys have such an advantage. You can like buy them and shit. I seen like a big jar of them somewhere.
Says the guy that fucking weed is illegal in your country.
Yeah, I know, but it is. But it's weird because like you almost have to get like 70% of your stuff black market and then still go and get like 30%, because I mean, unless I'm going to Amazon, I'm still getting papers and shit and like that from the dispensaries. I'm still getting, lighters and all my tools and everything and my bongs and shit. Like, I don't know. I might start
Happy
ordering
420,
bongs.
everybody.
I don't know. Yeah. Don't mind me. I'm good.
Morning, Kay. This is my favorite one out of all the ones this morning.
Yeah.
I love this one.
Sunrise glow so gentle, bright. Coffee cup, my heart's delight. Cannabis mist in the air. Friends we share this morning fare. Tropical breeze whispers low. We sip slow, feel the flow. Hands we hold, a peaceful beat. Life is sweet where hearts do meet. Sunday morning, pure and free. Church bell rings in harmony. Coffee warm and glowing sun. Cannabis dreams, we've just begun. Gospel tunes we softly hum. Joyful hearts and beating drums. Tropical skies wide and grand. Together we all understand. Peaceful shorebirds take to flight. Nature paints a pure delight. Friends and laughter fill the space. In this soft and sacred place. Cannabis calm and subtle grace. Coffee warmth in our embrace. Hands circle dreams in morning light. Sunday sunrise pure and bright.
No, Amber.
Gospel tunes we softly hum. Church bell rings in harmony. Coffee warm and glowing sun. Cannabis dreams, we've just begun.
All right, I want to show so that.
Right, that's right.
See if we can do this without getting in trouble.
This is Lake of the Woods, and like most lakes and most...
Wait. Okay.
But in 2020, resourceful Minnesotans made it a homemade highway to the middle of nowhere. Let me explain. The point of the highway was to connect Minnesota's mainland to the Northwest Angle, an isolated corner of the North Star State with about 120 residents and no cheesecake factories. What? It's only about 120 square miles or 320 square kilometers, making it smaller than Tampa, Florida, Vienna, Austria, and the island nation of Palau combined. And like Tampa, Austria, Minnesota's Northwest Angle is home to some of the best walleye fishing around. And it better be some of the best walleye fishing around because getting there is, to put it lightly, a massive pain. All you Border Crook stands probably already know what this is, so just get to know each other in the comments while I get the normal people up to speed. Hi, normal people. Welcome to the channel. We're going to do this as fast as we can. In 1783, the Treaty of Paris treated that the U.S.-Canada border would go through some water like this, up to the northwest corner of the Lake of the Woods, then go due west till it hit the Mississippi. But it turns out that's impossible because the Mississippi starts down here. So, oops. Fast forward a few years, this is still unresolved, and a new border has entered the chat, the 49th parallel. So the British were like, what if our border was just where the 49th parallel meets that line from before? To which the Americans say, you'll pry the land you gave us out of our cold, dead, freedom-loving hands. Then the Brits suggested dropping a vertical line from the old border to the new one, and the US was like, no, but then they were like, yeah. And then they found out about the northwest angle, and the Brits were like, this is silly, we'll buy that land from you so we can do the clean border, and the US was like, you'll pry! And the Brits were like, okay, we get it. Now the angle is officially Viking County. Phew. So now, getting from this part of Minnesota to this part of Minnesota involves 2 international border crossings. When could that possibly be a problem? If you guessed March 21st, 2020, congrats, you're right. That was when, due to stuff, the US-Canada border shut down for all non-essential travel. Unsurprisingly, this devastated the Northwest Angle's fishing resort-dependent economy, and while in the summer of 2020 you could get a water taxi there from a guy named Greg, the winter options were generally too expensive or too inconvenient. So the resort workers on the Angle hatched the perfect plan. Turn the frozen lake into a highway. The Northwest Angle Guest Ice Road opened on January 18th, 2021. It was 37 miles or 60 kilometers long, with most of it going over the American side of Lake of the Woods, whose winter surface is about 20 inches or 50 centimeters of star-spangled ice before reaching the woods of the woods. No border crossings necessary. But driving this ice highway didn't come cheap because making this ice highway didn't come cheap. By one estimate, the road cost the people who made it $1,500 per mile or $1,000 per kilometer in upkeep. For starters, they had to place road markers so drivers wouldn't veer off into the white abyss and find themselves in, well, another white abyss. Then there's the plowing, which is always complicated, and then there's the issue of pressure ridges. Changes in outside temperature stress out frozen lake ice, and like so many of us, it cracks under the pressure. The result is ice that needs to be flattened and plowed, and that's also unstable enough that it needs to be bridged so cars can safely cross. And like all cool problems, pressure ridges form quickly and unpredictably, so a big part of managing an ice road is picking out and planking over them. In the ice road's first year, it was the only way to get to the Angle in your own car. And even though you could technically go through Canada the second year, getting a $100+ negative PCR test for every person in your car within 72 hours of crossing the border isn't as cheap, convenient, or rad as ripping it across a frozen lake for $250 total. You could even get a season pass for just $500. That's less than a 1 weekend pass to Coachella, and the ice fishing at Coachella is terrible. After all, it's no Tampalastria. For businesses on the Angle, the ice highway was a lifeline, and for walleye-loving travelers, it was, I guess, a fishing line? It was a very clever, very elaborate solution to a major pandemic-imposed problem. And it was a hit. That is, until Mother Nature decided she had other plans and the road closed forever. Now, if you want to drive to the Angle, you got to go through Canada, which is way less cool, but at least gets you an hour of free healthcare. But you know it takes even less time than traveling.
Getting high.
Huh?
That's my guess. It's getting high. All right.
That was crazy.
Yeah, so there's that little corner up in Minnesota that's up in the Lake of the Woods, and so in the summer it's fine because you can go anywhere in Canada on water, bro. But once that shit freezes, it becomes land, and you better get the fuck out of Canada before they deport your ass.
That's crazy.
Isn't it?
That's really crazy. Oh, nice. I wonder if it's going to be nice here. Oh, it's getting light now. Got a little bit of light coming up.
It's really foggy here, surprisingly.
Yeah, actually, I think yesterday it was actually foggy. It might have been smoky, but I haven't really been keeping up with the fires because it's been raining, so I've just been hoping they all go out. We get more updates if they get closer, of course. We've never been on evacuation order, but we've been on evacuation alert before. Like just
so you gotta get your bags ready and fucking be ready to go when they come and knock on your door.
Kind of. Like just in case, but like that it's kind of the warning before the warning.
So like, is it kind of like other like evacuation situations? Like, I mean, they legally cannot force you out of your own house.
I think it depends on how close the fire actually is to the building, because like otherwise, because I've never actually seen firefighters go door to door. I think it's just a notice, like they'll give you a region is being evacuated, and then they give you a certain amount of time to get out, and then I think they send emergency services out to start knocking on doors.
But I'm just curious, like, what happens if you were like, dude, I'm not leaving? Do they just arrest you for trespassing on your own property, possibly?
See, I don't know. That's what I mean. I don't know if it's like a severity thing or
right.
like,
Yeah, I don't know.
And like you said, the American Canadian laws are totally different.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
They don't even line up.
You know, and it's their job to protect and serve, and that includes like protecting you from yourself. That's a real thing that they have to do. But yeah, I was just kind of thinking that, and it was crazy. How once you guys' snow and shit melts, how soon before fire season starts? Because I know like it's only a matter of time before you guys get a big thunderstorm and a lightning and all that goodness, and it goes.
Like
so
literally, like springtime can literally start any day in spring, like because of and you know what heat lightning is, right? Where like it's actually created from heat. Well, we have so many mountains that are just trees. And you remember when we had that really bad pine beetle kill? There was like red trees and dead everywhere. That was some of our worst fire seasons ever. Thank God they got that under control. We don't have that beetle kill anymore because that was just really bad. But we have international firefighters and local firefighters all over the place, and they've been doing this for so long now that they're pretty good at suppressing. And if it gets really bad, they actually rent the equipment from the mills here. We were actually talking about the big cats, or you know those big bobcats you got to climb a ladder to get into. They'll actually take those and clear burn lines or burn paths. So the fire goes away from the town or goes into a water source, or they're easier to suppress it. So
or
they
they'll
really
start
do
it
work
on the other side and burn towards the fire. Yeah.
And they'll actually pre-make some of these burn paths too if they notice. Like the thing is, it's the weather that's unpredictable, from the wind to the lightning to everything. Once the wind picks up, it could change directions and the fire could start jumping highways, and like, you know, even going over water, over rivers isn't very hard for fire to jump water.
Fire nados. Like the
like
heat
it's
gets
possible.
The swirl in the fire. That shit's crazy.
Yeah,
I was watching a documentary a while ago on the Great Fire in Chicago, and they were saying that like people just thought it was the fucking apocalypse because like the whole city the whole skyline was just red, and like there was like fucking fire nados in the skies, and people legitimately were like, "Holy shit, this is the end of the goddamn world."
Someone said they compared it to that scene in was it Terminators 1 or 2 where she's like behind the fence and everything's just like burning and like the sky's red, like not like that severe, but like the color of the sky and everything like very apocalyptic.
Do you know any fire jumpers? The guys that fucking parachute into the fires?
I know guys that actually helicopter in, like they're actually part of a helicopter crew. I don't know about jumping, but they definitely get helicopter in and out wherever they go to suppress fire. They're actually the guy who actually bought my girlfriend's house is one of the head firefighters for that crew. And odd story about him, he's actually an amateur weather guy and he's really accurate.
Gemma, I'm working. Stop. Hold on.
What'd you just lose?
She just keeps throwing her ball at me.
Oh.
Check this out. This is going to be cool.
Oh, well, you guys get lots done this year. You know, other than
yes. Yeah, that's right. We would have. We were planning on having everything tied in this year.
This one's awesome. Like they actually, what was that movie? Magnolia. They found a scuba diver impaled on the top of a 50-foot tree, and a water bomber picked him up. Water bomber picked him up out of a lake.
Look at this shit.
It's such a good idea.
Damn.
Yeah. I can't imagine the training they have to go through to be able to like actually, you know, like, could you imagine if they missed? Like, you don't get a second shot.
No.
I think you'd almost fly by and come back around if you actually were like, you know, something happened. You'd almost be like, no, wait, you know.
All right, one more, and then we'll jump into this day in history.
Perfect, yeah. Love it. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
That's so cool. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like a straw for the helicopter.
Right? It's so cool.
That is so cool. I've never seen that before.
I do like how the belly open on planes where they just skim across the top and pick up water or whatever, but like the hoses are awesome too. That's so cool. Damn.
That's very preventive. Damn.
Yeah, that was dope.
And that's the thing is these fires spread so fast. We've already lost a few towns down south in the past. Lytton's gone. Lytton's burned twice, man. Like there's no town there anymore. It was a small town through the canyon or whatever. And you can drive through it, man, but there's literally fences everywhere just around burnt up properties. There's nothing there. They've demolished everything. It's weird, man. It's like it's not even a ghost town. It's just a flat place where a town used to be. Like, I don't know.
All right. Speaking of firefighter shit, this one's really cool too. This fucking fire truck will unload 1,000 gallons in 55 seconds.
Yeah. We were just, you know what? That's funny you say that. We actually went to the firehouse this past summer with the kids, and they got to check out the fire truck filling up a big bladder, like filling up from a huge water bladder. And they're talking about how fast it actually fills and like expels. And I was like, that's some pressure. Like I've actually had experience running a fire hose from my mill job. It's intense.
Yeah, well, this is on the truck. Check this out.
You got to be strong.
Using the master stream on a big fire is a great way to get it under control quickly. However, it's not always the right tool for every job.
Those hoses are heavy too. Those hoses are heavy, man. Like after you drag those around for a couple of days, man, your arms hurt, man.
Oh, I'm
like,
fucking. Plus, once they get wet, yeah, dude. I had we used hoses, big 3-inch hoses like that for when I worked on the railroad.
Yeah, and like you get
individuals that are inside the home at this time. What we can tell you is that crews are just now getting water turned onto the blaze. And we will have more information for you as it becomes available here on WXRO later in the afternoon.
That's crazy.
Hey, can you give me on BEP now?
It worked pretty fast.
It's crazy.
It's hard enough handling those hoses and equipment and moving around in the fire gear. Fuck.
So if you're new to firefighting or you've never had the opportunity to use a master stream or a deck gun, as it's commonly called, you can see what a powerful tool it is. However, like I said at the beginning, it's not always the right tool for every job, and there's some things you're going to want to keep in mind before you open.
Yeah, that shit's crazy. Fucking.
I'm sorry. He's like, before you open up, I was gonna say a can of whoop ass.
A can of whoop ass on that fire. All right, what's your game history? Oh, wrong button. August 25th today already.
Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for August 25th. August 25th is the 237th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 238th in leap years, with 128 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is ostentatious or ostentatious. Ostentatious is an adjective that means showy, pretentious, given to outward display, seeking to attract attention, admiration, or envy, often by gaudiness or obviousness, overly elaborate or conspicuous. You could think of the word ostentatious as a fancy word for show off. The word ostentatious comes to us from a Latin word that means display. First known use of the word ostentatious is in 1590, ostentatious. The word ostentatious was requested by one of my viewers. And if you have a word you'd like us to explore in the Word of the Day section, drop it in the comments for me. We'll take a look at it. And with that, this is the birthday of the Russian ruler known as Ivan the Terrible, born August 25th, 1530. He actually succeeded his father in that position when his father, Ivan III, died. Ivan IV, not quite terrible yet, was only 3 years old when his father died, but his father had specified that he wanted young Ivan to succeed him. He was proclaimed Grand Prince of Moscow then at the age of 3, and his mother acted as regent until she died when little Ivan was 8 years old. From there, the regency shifted between several competing families known as boyars, which were a class of feudal nobility. Unfortunately, in all their jostling for control, young Ivan and his younger brother were neglected, but at least they weren't assassinated. Ivan was crowned Tsar of Russia at the age of 16. He introduced reforms and modernization to Russia and enacted some laws and actions against boyars as they continued to act in ways that further irritated him. Ivan held that position of Tsar until his death in 1584 at the age of 53. Now, in current times, the word terrible typically means extremely or distressingly bad or serious, or causing or likely to cause terror, sinister, and I think Ivan the Terrible could certainly have been thought of in all of those ways, but I think what they really meant by terrible was as in inspiring fear or terror, dangerous and powerful. He was also known as Ivan the Formidable or Ivan the Fearsome. He was described as intelligent and devout, but he also exhibited episodes of paranoia, rage, and outbreaks of mental instability. For example, in a fit of rage, Ivan the Terrible murdered his eldest son and that son's son. This left Ivan's younger son, Fyodor, as heir to the throne. Unfortunately, Fyodor was not really good ruler material. He wasn't interested in politics or civics or anything like that, so the bloodline basically ended when Ivan the Terrible died of a stroke at the age of 53. And now we're going to time hop from the 1500s to 1981 when Voyager 2 made its closest approach to Saturn on August 25th, 1981. 8 years later, on August 25th, 1989, Voyager 2 made its closest approach to Neptune, which was the last planet in the solar system at the time, since Pluto's orbit had gone within Neptune's orbit from 1979 to 1999. Now, I'll leave a link in case you want to see what else I might have talked about in a previous episode for August 25th. And today's song is Everything I Do It For You by Bryan Adams. Written by Adams, Michael Kamen, and Robert John Lang, this is a power ballad that was featured as the lead single on the soundtrack album from the 1991 movie Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, as well as Bryan Adams' sixth studio album called Waking Up the Neighbors, also from 1991. It hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 on July 27th of 1991 and held that spot for 7 weeks, which is where we find it on August 25th. In addition, the song peaked at number 1 on over 20 charts around the world and has been covered by and has been covered by an artist called Brandy. That one was issued in late 1999. Everything I Do It For You by Bryan Adams. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put
Sorry, we're running over. Please make sure, if you haven't, go over and give Vicky Bowers a like, a subscribe, a share. She's fucking awesome, and I appreciate the This Day in History every morning, and I cannot wait to do a live This Day in History.
I know you keep talking about it. I'm excited too.
So I think how I want to do that is when we normally would do This Day in History, I'm going to get the watch link, and I'll share it out, so that way everybody can jump over there, because I would much rather, everybody leave this show to go support her and talk, and comment to her, and then I'll still have it up, and I'll have the because I don't think anybody. I think I'm the only one that knows what Vicky Bowers looks like. Well, besides, I guess maybe anybody who follows her, I should say.
I do as of today, because I actually looked her up today. I've been meaning to, but my eldest daughter asked me what I was listening to. I was listening to yesterday's again,
okay,
because I was listening for something, and I was like, well, go check her out, because you got a phone. I was like, go check her out. So I gave her Vicky Bowers, and I made her find her on YouTube so she can check that out today. I think the day in this history, or whatever, history in this day, is awesome.
I love it.
Yeah. We went to that place, Knott's Berry Farm in California. It was kind of like a Disneyland, but it was just games and stuff, not so many rides. And we had that printout of what happened the year you were born and stuff, and that was pretty cool.
Oh, I love that shit.
Yeah. I want a giant panda bear there. A giant panda bear.
Good morning, Crystal. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful morning. I guess I just meant that I don't think I've ever shown air on the show, because YouTube don't like when I do stuff like that.
Yeah. It's weird how they let you, like, I don't know. I've seen other people show YouTube and that, and then other people are like getting shut down, and then some people don't. Like, I don't know. But yeah, nice chilling Sunday for Man Bear. Probably just going to catch up on some sleep. Maybe make some lunch for everybody when they wake up, because they're definitely not waking up for breakfast today.
Yeah, let's do smoke song, and then we'll do our morning speaker.
Sounds good.
You're good. Oh, that's great, Vicky. I love when that fucking happens. I know it's cool as shit because the YouTube has been starting playing Cove shows after the Cove show ends. So I'm like, well, that's cool. All right. Looking for a certain one here. Alrighty. Oh no, what did I do? Okay, there we go.
All that effort and I forgot to put sugar in my coffee.
Oh shit.
I've gone too far now. I'm just gonna accept
I've gone too far. All right, we're gonna do a Jordan Peterson this morning.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm going to talk to you today about a different way of looking at what real is. It's not easy to figure out what real is because we don't really have infinite knowledge, and so we're always making some sets of presuppositions about what's most real. And it really matters what you assume is most real because you base the decisions that you make that run the entire course of your life on those assumptions, whether you recognize it or not. And if you get the assumptions wrong, or even if you leave them incomplete, you're going to pay a big price for it. And the assumptions that we use in our culture, although they've enabled us to develop a tremendously potent technology, are incomplete in ways that have also cost us and that are extremely dangerous. And since the scientific age began, we've lived in a universe where the bottom strata of reality is considered to be something that's dead, like dirt. It's matter. It's objective. It's external. And there isn't any element of it that lends any reality to phenomena like meaning or purpose. That's all been relegated to the subjective and in some ways to the illusory. But it's by no means self-evident that that set of presuppositions is correct, because we lack infinite knowledge, and there's many things about the structure of being that we don't understand. The main one being consciousness. We can't account for it at all, and we can't account for the role it appears to play in the transformation of potential into actuality, which is a role that's been recognized by physicists for almost 100 years now, and which remains one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in science. There are other ways of looking at what's real, and these other ways have some advantages, and one of the advantages they have is that they protect us. Knowing these other ways of operating within reality, defining reality, protect us from certain kinds of pathologies. And modern people are prone to a fair number of pathologies that stem from the assumptions of the systems they use to define reality. And one of those pathologies is a kind of a nihilistic hopelessness, which is a consequence of the recognition that in the final analysis, nothing really has any meaning. And because life is difficult, and that's a meaning that you can't escape, being forced to abandon your belief in a positive or a transcendent meaning can leave you weak at the times when you really can least afford to be weak. And there's more important pathologies that it's opened us up to too, and those are pathologies of belief. And I think we saw the most horrifying examples of that, hopefully the most horrifying examples in the 20th century, where people whose belief systems were shattered, at least in part, by the competition between religious and scientific viewpoints, turned in large numbers to mass movements that were in every way a substitute, a more rational, in some sense, substitute for religious beliefs that appeared no longer tenable. And the consequence of that was, it was just about annihilation, because we came close to annihilation twice, once in the 60s and once in the 80s. And even without the totality of annihilation, we lost hundreds of millions of people as a consequence of pathological belief systems in the 20th century. So if belief systems become pathological, that pathology can pose the biggest threat possibly to our very existence. And if you're a Darwinian in any sense, you have to understand that the things that pose the biggest threats to your survival are the most real things. They have to be dealt with. Now, here's another way of looking at things. I'll start with the definition of this word. This word, phanesthai, is the root word of phenomena, phenomenon. And phenomena are the things that appear to you. And phanesthai means to shine forth. And the phenomenologists who were interested in the shining forth of things made the presumption that the things that manifested themselves to you as most meaningful were the most real things. And I think you can make a strong case that that's actually how your brain is wired, because your brain is wired to react to things that have meaning before they construct the perceptions that you think of as objects. And the reason for that is because the meaning of things is more real in some sense, but more important than the view of things as objects. And so, for example, a famous philosopher, psychologist of vision said that when you approach a cliff, you don't see a cliff, you see a falling off place. It isn't that it's an object, cliff, to which you attribute the meaning of falling off place to. It's the falling off place perception comes first, and the abstraction of the objective cliff, if it ever happens at all, comes much later conceptually, because even babies can detect cliffs, and much later historically. Poets have noticed this phenomena shining forth reality, and they've often associated it with childhood, and I think there's good reasons for that. I think your brain is not so much of an inhibitory structure when you're a child before it's fully developed. And so there's neurological reasons for noting it, but there's also reasons that stem from the level of lived experience. You can tell when you're around children that they're open to things in a way that adults aren't. They're wide-eyed with wonder. And adults like being around children for that reason, because although the child takes an awful lot of care and is a terrifying object in some ways to behold if you have a relationship with the child because they're so vulnerable, the part of the way they pay you back is they open up your eyes that have been closed by your experience and that have learned to shield out the things that shine forth. And when you have a child, you can look through the child's eyes again and To me, it's like they're on fire in a sense. They're like a candle or something that's burning brightly. And I think that's also partly because we actually don't screen out fire. We actually see fire, and that's why we can't not look at it when it's around. I think the same thing happens when you're in love with someone. If it's genuine love, because genuine love gives you a hint of what could be in the future if you could just set yourself right. You get a glimpse of what could be in the future if you fall in love with someone. You don't get that without work, but you get a glimpse of it. And I think it's because when you fall in love, and I believe this is likely a biochemical transformation, is the perceptual structures that normally stop you from seeing people, because you really don't see people, you just see shadows. The barriers are lifted temporarily, and what's really there shines through, and it's overwhelming. But to stay in that state, well, it requires a tremendous amount of moral effort, is really the right way of thinking about it. Wordsworth said about children, "There was a time when meadow, grove, and stream, the earth, and every common sight, to me did seem apparelled in celestial light. The glory and the freshness of a dream. It is not now as it hath been of yore. Turn wheresoever I may, by night or day. The things which I have seen, I now can see no more. Earth fills her lap with pleasures of her own, yearnings she hath in her own natural kind, and even with something of a mother's mind, and no unworthy aim. The homely nurse doth all she can to make her foster child, her inmate, man, forget the glories he hath known, and that imperial palace whence he came." And what Wordsworth means by this is that as you develop as a competent adult, which is precisely the direction towards which you should develop, much of what you're doing is actually closing in and narrowing. You're closing in and narrowing towards a particular goal and a particular way of being. And that's necessary because as you develop, you have to develop towards a particular way of being, or you don't develop at all, and you can't stay a child forever. That goes sour of its own accord. And so human beings are destined to close their perceptions in, to sharpen themselves and to focus on very little so that they can at least do that. But the price we pay for that is that we start to replace the relationship we have with untrammeled reality with the shadows that are only complex enough to let us do what we need to do and no more. And in some sense, although we become more competent, in other ways we become more blind. And we kind of know how this happens. It happens from the bottom up. Now, this is a Magritte painting, and the painting has an obvious meaning in a sense, which is that we're blinded even to what's right in front of us by the objects that we see. And we think that seeing is letting in the light, but it's only letting in a very small fraction of the light because we're only capable of contemplating a small fraction of everything whenever we're doing any particular thing. And so very much of what we're doing is screening things out. Very much of your cortex is inhibitory. And Magritte is trying to get at that with that idea. It's like there's a businessman there. He's dressed in his uniform. He can't see beyond the immediate thing that's in front of his eyes. How does that happen? Well, let's say you're a baby. The first thing you build your body from the bottom up. You build your perceptual and action structures from the bottom up. You learn to move your arm. You learn to close your hand. Then you learn to do things that are practical with those abilities. You lift a spoon. Well, you have to do that to feed yourself. You learn to move a plate. You learn to set the table. That's starting to become social now because you can set the table for you and for other people. You learn to make a meal. That's a more complex sequencing of motor activities and perceptual abilities that's very focused. As you continue to develop, the things you chain together become more and more complex but also more specific. You have to care for your family, which means there's all sorts of other things you're not doing. You have to find a good job, which almost everyone, when they're young, experiences as the contemplation of a limitation. Well, not everyone, but many people think, oh no, I'm going to have to settle for this role. I don't want to only be that role, but it's better to be that role than no role at all. And maybe the way through the role to the other side is through the role, not around it. There's no avoiding the responsibility of narrowing and shaping and specializing. Be a good parent. Well, that's a sacrifice you make for the next generation. Be a good partner. The same thing. Be a good citizen. It's easy for young people in particular to be skeptical of that because the old society is always corrupt and archaic and blind, and to become a member of that seems to be in part to allow yourself to adopt that same aged blindness. But that thing also educates you. It shapes every word you speak. It's something that you have to be grateful to, even in its aged and archaic form. And it's part of the necessities of human responsibility that you become a good citizen. And that means, in some sense, giving up more of what could be, at least to sustain what is. There's a satirical song from the late 1890s, English. I am the very model of a modern major general. I've information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the kings of England, and I quote the fights historical, from Marathon to Waterloo, in order categorical. And the satire is, well, he has the knowledge, he's an official functionary, and it's very difficult to do that, but in the same way, it's very limited and categorical, and of course an artist would object to that. But it's better than nothing at all, and that's the alternative. Well, above that, maybe what's above good citizen? Because sometimes good citizen is not so good. If you were a good citizen of Nazi Germany, or a good citizen of the Soviet Union, or of Mao's China, you know, you were narrowed in a particular way, but, and then maybe in a necessary way, but also in a very pathological way. And so it seems to be that there has to be something, even though adopting that restricted viewpoint is necessary, there has to be something above it. And I think that's also the thing that can restore the sense you have of a true entanglement with the deepest and most meaningful realities of life. And that's the issue of being a good person. It's above being a citizen. It's something else. It has something to do with the development of individuality. And I think we're also wired for that. So it looks like we're wired to lose what we had, to specialize. But then once we're specialized, to reopen. Once we've got the skills built into our body, and then can handle reality, because we're more adapted and more fluid and more flexible, then we can start opening the doors again. And I believe that your nervous system is set up to help you do that if you don't interfere with it, if you notice. And you notice that by paying attention to the things that manifest themselves to you, that shine forth as interesting. They grab you. And where you're grabbed is where the obscuring map you live in isn't obscuring the reality that's underneath. It's like there's a hole in the map, and the light shines through that, and you're attracted to that, and that will pull you along. And that's when your interest is seized by something. That's your nervous system doing that. You don't do that. It's an unconscious force. You could even say it was the world itself talking to you. And the phenomenologists did feel that way. And it's a real phenomenon. It's not a secondary thing, and you know that because you can't live without it. You die, you stultify, you get cynical, you get nihilistic, or you adopt some wild belief system if you don't have the attachment to some genuine life-giving meaning in your own life. And it's a hard thing to follow that because it doesn't necessarily put you into perfect juxtaposition with society, because it's not society, it's not being a good citizen, it's something else. It's also the thing that rebuilds how you would be a good citizen. The Egyptians knew about this a long time ago. They didn't really know they knew, because they acted things out in drama and portrayed them mythologically because they didn't have the capacity to articulate the ideas fully. But the Egyptians worshipped the human eye. And they worshipped the eye because they knew the eye was the thing that paid attention. Like, we're really visual creatures, and your eye is automatically attracted to the things that manifest themselves or shine forth in front of you. And you have.
Good morning, Daniel. How you doing this morning, man? I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday morning. We're just hanging out doing our Cove TV morning speaker.
Have to look at them. If you pay attention to the things that shine forth, because what you're seeing is the reality instead of the map, you're gaining access to the real information that's in the world. It's not prepackaged information, because that can be false. It's the real information flowing out from the ground of being. And if you pay attention to that, it will help you move towards the goals that you've already established for yourself as a good citizen, that are part of the inbuilt value structure that you've adopted. But at the same time, it will do something else. It will lead you to transform the nature of those goals. Because as you pursue the thing that guides your interest, and more information is revealed, then by absorbing that information, which is learning essentially, you build yourself into a different person, a stronger and more informed person, and a more intact person, a person with more integrity and with more strength and with more direction. And at the same time, you differentiate your map, and so you're living more and more in the real world. So as you approach your specific goal, even if it's a culturally conditioned goal, the learning that you do along the way transforms you, and it transforms the nature of your goal. Things shine forth. And there's a reason for that. And you know that because when you're attending to something you're interested in and you're engaged in it, that's when you're alive. That's when life is worthwhile. It's so worthwhile that in those moments you don't even ask the question about it. The question itself goes away because the meaning that you're united with is so powerful that it can push back the adversity that would otherwise characterize life. Nietzsche said, the person who has a why can bear any how. And that's a really useful thing to know because you think, well, we're very vulnerable creatures and our life ends catastrophically and terrible things happen. And how can we bear that? And the answer to that is, and always has been, that you have to be in sync with something that's beyond you, because that synchrony gives you the strength that you need to bear your terrible limitations. You see this played out. People know this. Everyone knows this. It's just that our culture isn't good at articulating it. We've lost a lot of this. We haven't developed our knowledge about this as much as we've developed our knowledge of the objective world, and we're paying for it. You see it in weird places. On the right here, there's an old symbol at the bottom. It's called the round chaos. And the alchemists believed that the round chaos was the thing that held what the world was ultimately made of, the thing that was most real, and they conceptualized it as something like information. They thought about it as a combination of spirit and matter. And it was a combination of spirit and matter, which is what information is in a sense, because when you interacted with it, you took some of the information and you built yourself out of it, so that was the spiritual element, and you took some of the information and you built the world out of it, and that was the material element. And they thought of the reality itself as something that preceded the spiritual and the material, and that reality was what shone forth. And that's been dramatized in tales, modern tales of transformation. The most interesting place that's popped up is in the Harry Potter stories, where central to the Harry Potter theme is a game called Quidditch. And in Quidditch, which is a game, the way you win the game is by playing a game that's sort of outside the Quidditch game. You win the Quidditch game by following this thing that beckons, this golden thing that glimmers and moves around. If you catch that, then you win the game, and so does your whole team. And inside that is the resurrection stone. It's a diamond. It's a jewel. The idea is that if you follow the thing that manifests itself to you as interesting, it will lead you through adversity. It'll lead you to do things that are difficult, and as that happens, but not beyond your capacity, because it's tempered for that. What will happen is, as you hit yourself against the world, pursuing what you're interested in, you'll tap yourself into alignment. Your molecules, your structure, internal structure will become non-contradictory, like the internal structure of a jewel, which is something that reflects light. That makes you hard and durable and able to bear the terrible conditions of existence without becoming corrupt. T.S. Eliot said something about this. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and to know the place for the first time. And that's a 5-line summary of the most remarkable elaboration of the nature of the relationship between the individual human consciousness and reality itself that's ever been penned, and the culmination of a system of thought that's been developing over thousands and thousands of years, which we have lost and cannot properly articulate. Follow what you're interested in. It'll take you to adversity, and then through it, it'll transform you from a citizen into an individual, and then the doors will open again. And at that point, you're strong enough to have your life. And at that point, you're strong enough not to fall prey to pathological belief systems and work towards the destruction of things. Thank you.
Dang, I love Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
He's another good one that I really enjoy, because I agree with like 80-90% of what he says, and I always love, that little bit of pushback. You know what I mean?
people don't understand how powerful words actually are. When you're trying to do something and you have somebody that's supposed to be backing you, it's like, oh, you'll never do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's so discouraging to the point of exactly what he's saying is the adversity side of it is you're going to have haters when you're going through something they don't like, they don't agree, or the jealousy thing I notice is coming up a lot. And it's really making people bitter and kind of angry and kind of barking back at their own friends, which is weird. I thought we
Right.
wanted to be happy. I thought we wanted to be like happy when our friends got successful, not why aren't I as successful as them? I mean, you can want to be as successful as your friends, but don't take it to a jealousy point. Lift them up so they can help lift you up. You know, like I don't know. It makes sense because people can get discouraged so easily from their goals that they'll just stop and sit back and take that easy gas station job, or when they should have been an accountant, or they should have been, sitting behind a sports desk, or they should have been, a fucking lawyer, or who knows? I don't know.
Right. Good morning, Kimmy. How are you doing? Well, good middle of the night to you. It's still morning. It's Monday morning, but all right. You want to do a smoke song?
Yeah, we did.
Let's go with this one.
Tune in, I feel alive. Cove TV sets the vibe. Motivation on the way. Join the crew, seize the day. Fun and games, endless play. Catch the sun every day. Smile and laugh, don't delay. In the Cove, let's all sway. Cove TV, feel the breeze. Joy and fun, come with ease. Catch the waves of summer's beat. Find your groove, it's a treat. Best shows under the sun. Every channel full of fun. Life's a beach, watch and see. Cove TV sets you free. Motivate, elevate. Come on, let's celebrate. Swipe and tap, don't wait. Join the crew, feel great. Cove TV, feel the breeze. Joy and fun, come with ease. Catch the waves of summer's beat. Find your groove, it's a treat. Cove TV. Cove TV. Cove TV, feel the breeze. Joy and fun, come with ease. Catch the waves of summer's beat. Find your groove, it's a treat.
All right, so we do have got some duck racing this afternoon. I'm very excited for that. We'll do a short Aquaspeed Racing Network segment, and then probably call it a show for the morning.
Yeah, sorry, I've been up all night. I'm talking a lot this morning.
Oh no, you're good, dude. I didn't think so. You think you were fine? What does everybody got going on today?
I'm thinking doing some real dodgeball with people I don't like. Just walk down the street and smoke them with a dodgeball. What's up? Good Sunday morning. Bam! It's the sound, I think. You know when you get hit by a dodgeball? It's the sound of the
ping pong, whatever that flap, whatever the fucking sound is.
You'll never forget it. And will you ever really forget the smell of the balls, the dodgeballs? Because like they smell like rubber, and it goes onto your hands. You have to wash your hands after you play dodgeball because it smells like the dodgeballs. We're like, why? What on the dodgeball came off on my hands? It doesn't make sense. That's what I always thought. How does my hand smell like a dodgeball? I don't know. I heard they might be making dodgeball too. Would you watch a dodgeball too?
Depending on who was in it and how it was, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I'm so skeptical about it because, it's the sequel curse, isn't it? After so long.
Yes. That's
Is that
real.
not like almost a true thing, Beans, where you take too long to make a sequel and everyone's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, it's kind of what happened with Super Troopers 2, I feel like.
Yeah, although being Canadian, you gotta laugh pretty hard at what they did on the Canadian side. Like, come on, man. When they go to the border, do you remember just the fucking border scene? That's the best scene in a movie ever. Oh, let there be light. I literally have a schizophrenic lamp, man.
That's great.
Like, it's like,
My
oh,
backyard light is I've got a big like motion sensor yard light, and
yeah,
like
yeah,
I just turn it off for no reason. But
yeah. You're like, oh, there's ghosts out there or something. That's what I always think, man.
all right, let's do our Aqua Speed Racing Network.
My boy's back.
Good Sunday morning, duck racing fans. The day we've all been waiting for is finally here, the Funky Feather 400 at Funhouse Speedway. I'm your host, Webster Featherstone, and before the racing action kicks off this afternoon, let's do a quick recap of Friday's thrilling qualifying rounds and break down how today's main events will unfold, especially after the Saturday rest day for the Ducks. Recap of qualifying. Friday's qualifiers were nothing short of spectacular. Glidey Gwen from the Ripple Runners showed incredible speed, securing the top spot in the A-Main. Gallant Gabby from the Waddle Warriors followed closely, earning a well-deserved place in the A-Main as well. Kush Quacker of the Pond Puffers also made waves, clinching a spot in the A-Main, alongside other top contenders like Mother Featherly of the Mother Duckers, Buccaneer Benny of the Duccaneers, and Wobble Wiggles of the Wacky Quackies. In the B-Main, Fleet Flow from the Ripple Runners leads the lineup, with Captain Brave Beaky of the Waddle Warriors right behind. Captain Bubbling Blaze of the Pond Puffers and other strong competitors like Captain Mother Quackington of the Mother Duckers and Sailor Sam of the Duccaneers will also be battling it out for crucial points. The C-Main is set to be just as exciting, with Streamline Stan from the Ripple Runners taking the first position. He'll be joined by Courageous Carl of the Waddle Warriors, Drift-In Danny of the Pond Puffers, and others who are eager to prove their mettle on the track. How the events work. This afternoon, we'll start with the C-Main, where the third-place finishers from each team's qualifying rounds will compete. The top 5 finishers in this race will earn points for first place, 3 points for second, 2 points for third, and 1 point each for fourth and fifth places. Next up is the B-Main, featuring the second-place qualifiers. The stakes are higher here, with 6 points for first place, 5 points for second, 4 points for third, 3 points for fourth, and 2 points for fifth. Finally, the A-Main will bring together the top qualifiers from each team. This is where the big points are up for grabs: 10 points for first place, 8 points for second, 6 points for third, 4 points for fourth, and 2 points for fifth. The competition will be fierce as these ducks battle for the top honors. But the excitement doesn't end there. After the 3 main races, we'll have the main event, where the top performers from the C-Main, B-Main, and A-Main will face off in one final race. The main event offers even more points, and it could be the deciding factor in the standings. With so much at stake, today's Funky Feather 400 is set to be an unforgettable day of racing. The ducks are rested, the fans are excited, and we're about to witness some of the best racing action of the season. Stay tuned to Aqua Speed Racing Network and get ready for a quacktastic afternoon at Funhouse Speedway.
All right, yes. So Ducks will race around 4:30 p.m. Eastern time this afternoon. Come in, hang out and smoke and all that goodness, and then we'll duck race. So a 3-minute race, a 5-minute race, a 7-minute race, and then a 10-minute race. And there's all sorts of points up for grabs. The Mother Duckers are still kicking ass, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they're winning a lot. That's what I would say.
Scrolling.
Right. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, the Mother Duckers have 34 points. The Gray Ducks have 33. The Wacky Quackies have 33. Splash Squad has 31. The Dabbin Ducks have 27. The Waddle Warriors have 25. The Pond Puffers have 20. Quack Attack has 18. The Ripple Runner has 6. The Duccaneers have 7.
Nice.
So, Alrighty. Probably smoke one more with you guys and call it a morning show, but definitely make sure that you guys come back for the Your Shenanigans. And if I don't see you at the Your Shenanigans, I'll see you for duck racing. So, Man Bear, go ahead and let you say your farewells, man.
Much love. Thanks for tuning in. Great speaker this morning. Great day in this history. I really do enjoy Jordan Peterson. That's his name, right? Make sure you check him out. Also, make sure you check out Vicky Bowers. She's really awesome. I don't know if Beans did throw the link down, but if not, we can get a hold of us and we'll hook you up with Vicky Bowers on YouTube. And like Beans said, we're going to try to catch her live soon because it's going to be really exciting. We want to catch her live because honestly, she's really amazing. So make sure you tune in for duck racing later. Make sure you tune in for the Europe Nanigans coming up soon. And yeah, make sure you're following Sir Cops a lot, Europe Entertainment, Cove TV, and anybody else that you've seen up here. And yeah, have a good morning, and we'll see you in the afternoon.
Much love, Man Bear. Thank you guys so much for hanging out this morning. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, calm, hanging, chilling Sunday morning. I always like to take it nice and slow on Sundays. I got a few things to do around the house here before the Europe Nanigans, so we'll smoke one more with you guys. Absolutely, definitely make sure you're following Sir Cops, Kelsey Dabbs, Lumberjack, Europe, K. I'm just forgetting so many people. But
there's a billion.
Yeah, but absolutely. You guys kind of having a good idea of who helps support the Cove and who's always up here hanging out with us. So definitely make sure that you are following them because the support that you show them and then it helps them show us support, and it's just trickle down effect, and it's all amazing. But yeah, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day, and we will see everybody this afternoon. Have a wonderful morning, and we're gonna go with this one for our outro because if anybody wants to be featured on the Cove, if you want your business on the Cove, reach out to anybody from the Cove and we'll get you your ad right here.
Let's do it.
Looking to spread the word, make your message seen. Advertise with Cove TV. It's the marketer's dream, with shows that captivate and a crew that's true. Your brand will shine with our community too. Your ad here reaching far and wide. On Cove TV, where good vibes reside. Get noticed, get known, let your message be clear. Advertise today, put your ad right here. From morning shows to late night delights, your brand's in good hands from dawn till night. Cannabis lovers, gamers, and more. Cove TV's audience is what you're looking for. Your ad here reaching far and wide. On Cove TV, where good vibes reside. Get noticed, get known, let your message be clear. Advertise today, put your ad right here. From morning shows to late night delight, your brand's in good hands from dawn till night. Cannabis lovers, gamers, and more. Cove TV's audience is what you're looking for. Your ad here reaching far and wide. On Cove TV, where good vibes reside. Get noticed, get known, let your message be clear. Advertise today, put your ad right here. So take the lead, let's make it grand. At Cove TV, your brand will stand. We're here to help with you as our guide. Let's make your ad the star of the ride. Your ad here reaching far and wide. On Cove TV, where good vibes reside. Get noticed, get known, let your message be clear. Advertise today, put your ad right here.
Much love, everybody.